Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Check Me. We're covering this Eagles Tampa Bay Buccaneers game. This game I'm not too mad at. I'm not too mad at how we performed and how we fought, being down some of our, pretty much almost every top player that we've had. We had no Lane Johnson, no Devontae Smith, no AJ Brown, so we're pretty much working with crumbs out there. And I think we got to see a little bit more of Jalen Hurts' identity and how he's managing a game and manages his games versus him with some great players. And I think Jalen Hurts did well. Just a couple of things, tackling. This is something been consistently with the Eagles. I think year over year over year, we have not done a good job of gang tackling and just open field tackling. I don't like a lot of the misses. A lot of times the players are gambling. That's one of the biggest reasons why it's a game of inches. And I think we lost this game of inches. One of the main reasons why we lost this game early was because it was a game of inches and we weren't closing on tackling very well. I thought that the offensive coordinator for the Buccaneers did a really good job of coming out with a game plan that mitigated our pass rush. And if you have a team, you face a team who has been showing promise in their pass rush or just does well in their pass rush, you mitigate that early. You figure out how can we get the ball out quicker to pretty much frustrate this pass rush. And I've always said that if the one way to beat a pass rush is not to add more blockers, it's to get the ball out quicker. And that mean you may be taking the 2-yard pop, the 3-yard pop, right? Because that's a short run. As long as they get off the ball, they're wasting energy because later on in the game, they won't have that energy to pass rush. So I like the game plan. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers came out. They were getting the ball out quicker, but they were also doing some play action because their running game pretty much wasn't there. I mean, 25 carries, 111 yards. The running game really wasn't something that, other than those two big pops by Bucky Irving and Rashad White, it really wasn't there. They passed the ball 47 times, and they didn't hide it. Their short passing game was their run game. So I thought that was a good game plan. On the offenses, I do want to talk about three things. CJ has given up a touchdown, I think, in almost every game. I know 3 games, but almost every game. His pass coverage is awful. I like him when we're playing maybe some type of cloud coverage, deep third, umbrella coverage, where he's just getting vertical. But I don't like putting him in positions where it's him and one guy because more than likely he's going to get beat. Great for us to run support, maybe putting him on a big tight end. But we saw what Mike Evans did with him. CJ's pass coverage is just abysmal. To be honest with you, I think the same thing with Quinyon Mitchell. I think that we overhyped him, and we're putting him in positions to fail. I don't like seeing Quinyon Mitchell in one-on-one. I don't like seeing him in quarters because he's going to get beat. He's going to abandon his technique and fly out there as opposed to being a little bit more sticky to that receiver. N'Kobe Dean, once again, a guy in pass coverage that's liability. And Avonte Maddox, I don't like him. I never liked him in pass coverage. I personally would like I mentioned before, maybe bring in Keely Ringo or bring in Eli. I like Keely for run support and coverage in the slot, but I also like what's his face, Elias Ricks, who was on our practice squad. I like to put him in the slot. He's a good cover corner that I think fares pretty well in run support. Maybe not as violent as those other guys, but I like him if we're going to bring in a third DB, on a pass coverage down, and not Avonte Maddox. But overall, I think this was a win. I think that Jalen Hurts, he did very well in the pocket. We learned a lot in this game. He saw how he did. I think he kept the game competitive with a lot less than what we had out there with a good Buccaneers team. He was patient. I thought he picked his throws very well. He was efficient. He made no major mistakes outside of the fumble, but we saw how the pocket was breaking down without Lane Johnson. The receivers were getting no situation, and Jahan Dotson couldn't get open in the desert. Like I mentioned, I think that we overhype guys that come to our league. Oh, it's a big name. He's gonna be great. No, we have to understand that him, Ross, Wilson, Goddard, showed himself. 7 for 62, which was a good outlet. Grant Calcaterra, thought Saquon, did good from the ground what he was capable of doing. I mean, they pretty much were saying, hey, you're gonna have to beast with those receivers, and we couldn't. But I liked Jalen Hurts once again, moving well in the pocket. He stood in the pocket, moving up in the pocket as opposed to flushing out to the side and messing up route spacing. I thought he did an amazing job of just being able to be deadly in the pocket as opposed to relying on improvisation. And this is the growth we want to see of Jalen Hurts throughout the game. The growing pains that we have later are going to help us later in the season. And this is why I'm not okay or I'm happy with no A.J. Brown, no Devontae Smith, no Lane Johnson, because it's making Jalen Hurts better with less. So if we see this consistency in Jalen Hurts' development as a quarterback, when we get everybody back, right, we're going to be a whole new team that's going to be super competitive, and I think that we have a good chance of making it, making it deep in the playoffs, even back to the Super Bowl. Once we get our guys back, and then Jalen Hurts has his development with less, when he has those guys out there, I really don't see us losing, or not being able to score points like we shouldn't like we couldn't before. So really excited really happy and excited about the development that Jalen Hurts is going through when it comes to being a better passer in the pocket, calling his protections, setting his protections along with Cam Sturgeon's. But this is what makes a great quarterback over time as opposed to looking for immediate results. I think we got a bye week next week, which I think it's well needed. We need to be rested. I'm hoping we can come back and face this Browns team with having Smitty back, having Lane back, having AJ back. This would be something that we need. Just going into this deep schedule. Having a bye week early. With the Browns, the Giants, the Bengals, the Jaguars, right? So we have some teams that really haven't been shown, like they really aren't tough teams, but games we're supposed to win, and that's the most important thing.